everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Taking a Peek.
Welcome back.
I'm Isaac.
I'm Skye.
I'm Nessie.
And we're going to be reading one of Nessie's pieces today.
Yes. So now we've got all our technical glitches figured out.
Woohoo!
We got our script here. We'll be reading. We are wearing orange and having our wonderful orange background today. Because today is the day after in Canada we have the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. So we're kind of making awareness of that, even if it's a day late.
And if, for those of you who may not know what that is, it's for the Indigenous peoples here. It's for us who are non-Indigenous to have a chance to understand the culture and sort of learn about what we've done wrong as Canadians and as a nation for the Indigenous people. And so we encourage you to take some time to look into that stuff yourself.
So we have lots of links down in the description, and we really encourage that if you also have time to learn about the wonderful culture there, you do. But without further ado, let's just get started with Nessie's script. Now, if I may ask a question, this is just a portion of a script for our audience?
Yep, it's just one scene from a one-act show that I am currently working on.
Wonderful.
And does it have a title?
Yes, it's called The Lumberjack.
The Lumberjack.
Yes.
All right.
All right, so follow along. Skye, you can get us started, I guess.
Of course. And if you need anything, just holler.
Well, thank you. Who's reading stage directions?
You, Nessie.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry. I'm very. Oh, sorry. I thought we
Yeah.
were starting from scene 4. That's okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. My bad. All right. Jack opens the door with ease and walks out. Charlotte looks at the door, then back at her notes. She throws out a bunch and starts to organize them. Lights down. Scene 4. Lights up. Charlotte is writing on her laptop, but is constantly pausing. She looks a little flustered. She turns to the audience.
It was only a matter of a day or two before Charlotte started to lose some speed. It wasn't that she was running out of ideas or that she was getting frustrated from plot points and character arcs. If anything, there was too much. But also reality had caught up with her. She'd run out of food that morning. I was purely running on coffee. It's possible that going out for a drive to town would have helped her, but that also means she could risk getting too distracted and lose momentum and interest while second-guessing her ideas. She stared at the walls covered in sticky notes and the number of pages she had written. Surely that should be enough to get back right on track. But if it wasn't, was it worth the risk? As if the universe were making the decision for her.
The lights go off, but there's still light coming from the windows. You can hear her try to walk around.
The power went out. Thankfully, it was still daytime, so she could possibly work for a little bit while the sun was up. But she could barely read her sticky notes, even like this, and it would be only a matter of time before it got dark. Her laptop would run out of battery even if she wrote.
There is a knock.
To be perfectly candid, she was a little freaked out by this. As they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. 3 times.
Hello? Charlotte? Are you there?
Yes, the power just went out.
I know.
What? How?
Happened to be walking by and I saw. Call me crazy all you want. Maybe I'm cursed. But we did just have that storm, and sometimes these things happen. I just want to know if you're okay.
This actually did make sense. Kind of. She didn't know the first thing about old cabin care, so she'd have to take his word for it. It was kind of nice to know someone was watching over her. But she couldn't let Jack know that she was some kind of damsel in distress. I'm fine. Where's the thingy?
The thingy?
The, where you turn the lights back on.
The fuse?
Yeah, sure.
It's in the kitchen. If you let me come in, I can check it
No, no,
for
no.
you.
It's okay. I can do it myself.
Charlotte makes her way to the kitchen area.
Okay, just watch out for the floorboard. It's a little bit.
Ouch!
Charlotte trips.
Fuck.
Jack wiggles the door handle and makes it inside, heading straight to her.
Are you okay?
Ow! Yeah, I'm fine. Ah.
Jack takes out his phone and uses a flashlight from it.
Wow. Why didn't I think of that?
Where does it hurt?
I'm really fine, Jack. Just fix the cabin. Yeah.
Jack gets up and turns the lights back on.
Wow. Only seen that work in the movies.
Jack returns back to Charlotte, who's holding her knee.
Let me see it.
It's okay. I've felt worse.
Can you straighten it?
She does, though is cringing in pain.
There's an ice pack in the freezer. Hold on.
She tries to get up.
I can do it myself. Ow!
No, stay there.
Jack brings the ice pack to her and puts it on her knee.
I'm surprised you never noticed the floorboard.
I'm surprised you didn't fix it.
Touche. I'm sorry about that. I'll bring my tools to fix it tomorrow.
Thanks.
Charlotte looks to the audience.
Charlotte would be lying to you if she didn't tell you she felt something for Jack. He was dependable and kind, two very good traits when you seek a partner. But he was also mysterious, and Charlotte didn't really like that. She loved knowing everything she could about her partner, including why they would randomly appear out of nowhere.
Charlotte turns to Jack.
So tell me, Mr. Lumberjack.
Jack is fine.
Jack, how is it for the third time you magically happen to be here in my time of need?
I like long walks. Like I said, I happen to be in the area. And like I said, sometimes these things happen when there's a storm. Maybe I'm cursed and bad things happen when I'm around, or I have some kind of a sixth sense of when you're about to be in danger.
Believe it or not, if this is one of the few times Jack told the truth, half-truths anyway, Jack was drawn to the cabin for what he believed was a curse. It was easily proven by science and the best psychologist in the world, or at least someone smarter than Charlotte. However, Charlotte was in too much pain and too stubborn to think of it as any more than a joke. After all, she was a romantic and the slightest bit naive. Maybe I'm the cursed one.
Maybe. Are you able to get up now?
I think so.
She tries to get up, and Jack rushes to grab her desk chair to put behind her. He helps her into the chair. Jack notices the wall of sticky notes.
I see your brain calmed down.
Yeah, I followed your advice. I think I got it.
Glad I could help. May I ask what the play is about, other than a strong and handsome lumberjack?
Oh, it's complicated.
I can keep up.
It's...
Jack sits down next to her. Charlotte smiles, a little shy now.
It's the story of Little Red Riding Hood. And it's a crime romance.
Oh, sounds interesting.
Thank you. Well, I mean, the romance isn't the main part of it, but it's still there.
I'm going to assume the love story is between the wolf and Little Red.
Of course, it's the lumberjack. I didn't want to give too much away, but... Hey, you said you like plays, right?
Uh-huh.
Mind if I springboard something off of you?
Sure.
I'm stuck in the sixth scene of the first act. I was thinking that maybe that would be a good time for the lumberjack to ask out Red. But what do you think?
When do they meet?
First scene, when he saves Red and her grandmother.
How much time has passed?
A few days.
And how often do they see each other?
This would be their third meet.
Charlotte and Jack just look at each other.
I'd say it depends. Maybe they should start hanging out more. if more time passes, maybe then it'll be more appropriate. After all, Red did go through some traumatizing stuff. Her being eaten with her grandma and all. Maybe a time jump would be good, or when they meet again, it's been a while and they reconnect.
Sure. Charlotte gasps and tries to stand up.
Oh, yes, of course. Ow, ow,
She
ow.
sits back down.
I guess that helped.
Yes, thank you. I know exactly what to do. Thank you. I can't believe I didn't think of that. You ought to write plays too.
Oh, no, I couldn't.
You've helped me a lot. Fresh pair of eyes. It's what we need sometimes.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You know, when I said I hadn't had the chance to watch a play since high school, I kind of lied, fibbed.
Oh, what happened?
It's stupid.
No, please tell me. I want to know.
She puts her hand on him. Jack looks at it, then at her, and thinks for a second.
Well, long story short, it was a girl. She liked them and I liked her.
Ah, a girlfriend.
Well, not really. We went out once or twice. We were really good friends. I liked her a lot.
Was she any good?
She was great. You believed every word she said. She could have made it big. We all believed that.
What happened with you two?
Oh, she... It's not important.
Please?
You know how it goes. I tried and failed.
At what?
At love.
Oh. I'm sorry. You barely know me, and
No,
there's a lot.
I like talking to you.
Jack takes her hand.
Me too.
They look at each other. They lean in a bit, and Charlotte's stomach growls.
Are you hungry?
Oh, yeah. Fuck. I was going to go for groceries, and
I'll go.
I'll be there in a few minutes. It's no problem,
No,
really.
no worries. You keep writing and heal your knee.
I think you're overselling it. It's just a little knee problem.
No. Think of it as room service. I'll do it.
Okay, well, thank you. I'll send you a list. Crap! My phone doesn't have reception.
That's okay. Just write out a list. Old school.
He grabs one of the sticky note pads and a pen, and she writes down a few things. She hands it to him after she's done.
That should do for a couple of days.
Frozen foods? You don't make anything fresh?
I need to think quickly. Eating can sometimes get in the way. Besides, I could just do more shopping in a couple of days.
Well, I can do it for you again if you'd like.
No, Jack. You're already doing so much for me.
I insist. I'm bored. This is the most exciting thing to happen here in a while. And I'd love to help any way I can.
Well, thank you. Or at least, let me pay you extra.
No. How about this? I may call on you for a favor.
A favor?
Don't worry, it won't be something bad, I promise.
Okay. I can do that.
Great. Well, I'll get going. You're okay for now?
Yeah.
Well, I won't be long. Keep writing. I'll be back.
I'll be here.
Jack smiles and leaves. Do you want to leave it at that?
That's up
Oh,
to you.
yeah.
You wanna...
That's the end of the scene. So I mean,
Perfect.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's going to make
All right.
much sense if we keep going.
Fair enough.
I see why you chose that scene now.
Thank you.
How
So,
was it? How was it?
How
Tell
was it?
you were vibing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was vibing.
Ah,
All right, good.
awesome. I'm glad you guys liked it.
Thank you.
So I'll say to anyone who chooses to watch this later, because we don't have anyone now, but anyone who's watching this, if you have any questions or comments or things you want to hear from Nessie, please go ahead to jump down into the comments now and or live chat and just say what you have to say.
Yeah, we can relay them to Nessie later. If you end up popping in during the stream, we can relay them to her right away. Otherwise, they will be accessible for us, and we'll
Yeah.
get into her.
Yeah, so as far as going with workshopping your piece, I absolutely love this one.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
It's been a long time since I've properly seen a romance, like a natural progression of like
Yeah.
awkward feelings, the natural talking without it feeling forced, but rather just
Yes.
like will they, won't they.
hmm
I haven't seen it done so naturally, at least from my perspective,
Thank you.
in a long time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, it was very fun to read. It was a
Good.
very fun read.
Good.
I did have a question.
Yes.
Charlotte
Mhm.
is talking to the audience, which
Yes.
obviously fourth wall breaks are completely fine.
Mhm.
I'm just wondering what your reasoning for that is. What was your inspiration for that?
Yeah, well, my inspiration for that actually was the show Bunny by Hannah Moscovich. If you remember, we
love
saw
that show.
I love that show so much.
Oh my goodness.
It's probably my favorite show.
It's a great show.
Right? Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, and I loved how Hannah Moscovich wrote that Sorrel was talking to the audience to kind of relay her feelings, even though she's kind of looking back a lot on it. But there is a specific reason why Charlotte is talking to the audience and kind of like a book feel a little bit, which is that should I spoil it or
spoil as much or as little as you'd like. I would probably keep the ending a secret.
Yeah.
Okay,
we've got the warning.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I won't talk about the climax of it, but she writes about her experience with Jack the Lumberjack, and because of reasons.
Right. Is her interaction with Jack the main focus of the story?
Yeah, pretty much, yes. So there are no other characters that I've written so far. I have thought of writing somebody to come in and out for a couple scenes, but personally, from an actor standpoint, I never really liked having one actor just sit there for a long period of time doing nothing, going on their phone, waiting for their next scene to come up, which happens. But I didn't want to cast somebody and be like, all right, you're here for 2 scenes. You know,
no, totally
I feel
fair.
that.
Yeah, totally fair. I guess the question I was getting at with that is, have you considered Charlotte? Do you want Charlotte speaking directly to the audience, or is that a stylistic choice, or have you considered having somebody else as a narrator, like a narrator character?
No, I think it because of what happens with her and Jack, it makes the most sense to be autobiographical. Because that's basically what she's doing with writing the show. Writing the show is that she's talking about her perspective on things and what happened.
Yeah, even like this isn't. I'm not trying to lead you into changing her mind.
No.
But
absolutely.
even considering like an older version of her to do narration, or conversely, if you want to keep this this switch, I would make the language in the narration less narrative.
Okay.
Like less like a narrator, because I feel like it's somebody else.
Okay.
But it should flow right into from point A to point B.
Yes. Okay.
So like Skye, you're kind of saying like instead of saying it was only a matter of a day or two before Charlotte started to lose some speed, you were thinking like more like it was only a matter of a day or two before I started to lose some speed.
Well, obviously, like I statements could help.
Okay.
But also just a transition of like make the language less speech like.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. More storytelling.
Make it feel like a monologue to the audience. Think of the audience as a character.
Okay.
And that's not necessarily to say that this is a bad choice. What you have here, I'm feeling like the character is disconnected from herself.
I definitely understand that. Yes.
And that might be a decision you're making to separate that from the regular dialogue.
Okay.
But the way I would separate that dialogue is just direction, right?
Okay.
If she's directed to speak to Jack, then she's speaking to Jack, right? She doesn't
Yeah.
talk to herself
Mhm.
in this section. Does she speak to herself in the play?
I don't think so. She's a lot more internal,
Right.
in terms of what she's feeling, I guess.
Right. So I think having her communicate with Jack specifically, separate from communicating with the audience,
Mhm.
I think it'd be a lot. I think the audience will infer a lot easier than you think.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense.
Isaac, I think you were
Yeah.
going to say something too.
Dang, I remember what I was thinking. It was about the narration. Oh yeah, because I was debating on what I wanted to jump on you, Skye, with how I really do appreciate the narration because of how Charlotte seems to be a writer, and I was gonna ask, is that kind of like part of the story is her challenge as an artist and a writer?
Um, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
That's
I,
fair.
I don't
That's
know.
okay.
I think could you probably word your question a little differently?
Okay,
My
yeah,
brain
sorry.
isn't processing it. It's okay.
So I guess what I'm trying to say, if you're familiar with these terms, is I see there being a secondary plot. So it seems like the first plot is Jack and Charlotte. That's
Yes.
the primary driving focus. So what I thought would be interesting is if this play continued. I don't know the rest of the play.
Yeah.
But it's the writing and her relationship with writing.
Mhm.
I was wondering if that's like kind of the B plot where it's serving as almost a foil of the relationship she has with Jack. With Jack, she's hesitant and kind of afraid to jump into that. With writing, she's jumping right in. She's doing the best she can, but she's struggling. She can't keep it together. And if she can't keep this relationship going, can she keep the relationship with Jack going?
That's a really interesting way of looking at it, for sure. I think definitely there is some underlying hesitations with both of those things because I mean she's overthinking her writing and also therefore overthinking her relationship with Jack, but she's also trying to let herself go in both ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. I think in a way that she is for sure doing that. I think that's the short answer without spoiling much.
Yeah, this might be a bit of a spoiler itself.
Okay.
But I can sense just from reading
Yes.
that thematically the play she's writing is paralleling her own relationship.
Yeah.
And you can see that this is actually feels like a really good climax of that storyline. Where it feels like she's finally telling Jack about this parallel thing.
Yeah.
And he seems to be responding well.
Yes.
And I guess I don't know what I wanted to say about that, just that's clear.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Like that was clear to me.
Yes.
What I want to say then is, so it sounds like you answered my question perfectly, that as opposed to being like the opposite type of relationship, it's a parallel to show different angles of how she's trying to deal with her anxiety, I guess.
Yes.
And I'm sure, so I'm asking the question, and if it's a spoiler to tell me the answer, that means it's a really great written scene.
Okay. Okay.
Because it means you're going to answer my question later.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, I guess something else I wanted to comment on, and don't take this in the wrong way.
Okay.
There is a bit of a cliche of writers writing writers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially playwrights writing playwrights. And I'm wondering how that specifically, because the importance of battling cliche is intention.
Yes.
Right? Cliches can exist, and they do exist. That's why they're called cliches. Yeah. But they exist for a reason.
Yes.
And if they don't exist for a reason, they are just cliche.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm wondering, this story, how does it paralleling help the story?
Okay. Yes. So, as I said, with her narrations, she is, her narrations, she wrote about her experience with Jack the Lumberjack later on. So there is that. So it's kind of already established in both ways, I guess. So I mean, with Bunny, she was not a writer. I mean, she studied English lit, but she was
Right.
not a writer herself. So I thought that was a really interesting choice on Hannah Moskowitz's on her hand. But with I chose Charlotte to be a writer in other than the narrations because I pulled a lot from different pieces that I've watched or I've read, and they kind of all involve a writer in some way. There is, I think it might be a tiny bit of a spoiler to mention one definite piece of literature / film that I've been pulling from. So but within it it's a writer who's also in there. So almost all the pieces that I've kind of pulled inspiration from, the main character is a writer. That's just kind of how it happened.
Yeah, no, totally fair.
So
I guess the point I'm trying to make is if this is a therapeutic thing, because that's what it seems like you're leaning on, is like, this is therapeutic for her, or like journaling or something like that. Lean into that. Make that very clear. Obviously, that may be obvious in other scenes.
Yes.
But like, don't be afraid to make that very clear, and like use it as a device. Not just included. Make it really a thematic device.
All right. Okay. All right.
Because I wasn't sure whether to call it out at first about the cliche, because it kind of felt almost to me kind of like how noir has the cliche of always being about a murder. It felt like this is like a romance, based in writing, kind of like how we get. There are a lot of movies that do this. The whole romance and narration and what is destiny.
Yeah, yes. Honestly, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought of it like that.
Yes.
That's why
a genre-specific thematic device.
Yeah. I want to say Stephen King is very guilty of this.
Yes.
There's always somebody.
Is there a supernatural element to this?
There isn't a. Okay, long answer is no, or short answer is no. Like, absolutely not. No, not.
Short answer is
well, it's a no. I'm gonna say no, because I don't think it's supernatural is not the right term.
Okay, fair enough.
So Jack the Lumberjack's not a vampire.
Right. I just thought I'd draw on that, because she definitely has an inkling that there's something suspicious.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Which is just fine.
Yes.
I'm suspicious of Jack.
Yes.
Which is probably what you intend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, something about men following around women in the dark. I just don't like that.
Yeah, it's a bit scary and uncomfortable, but also sweet. So it's a complicated break. It could go the way of like, it's just magic, storytelling magic, where convenience happens. Like, that's how stories are made. But it could also mean a lot more. And that's not to tell you how to, like, which direction to go in, but because I don't know if Jack is a good guy or a bad guy or otherwise. So that's open.
Okay.
But I think the suspicion is completely for the story I assume you're telling. That's a good choice. I'm also taking that from knowing Bunny.
That's true.
As to what I think the kind of story you're telling.
Okay. Makes sense. Awesome.
I see. That is about all I have to say. The workshop.
We might want to take our breaks soon.
I feel like we're getting kind of
low. Did you have?
So do that.
right before we do that, Nessie, did you have a question about a specific section of the piece, or is it more
Yes.
a broad,
Perfect.
open?
I think well, I'm trying to think of like ways to like things to ask you without necessarily spoiling anything. I want to say when Charlotte asks Jack about, like, hey, you like plays, right? Does that sound like he actually knows what he's talking about from a writer's perspective, or he knows what he's talking about from like an outside perspective? I don't know if that's the right thing to ask you guys.
Oh, when
but-
Jack asks, you like plays?
Oh no. When Charlotte's saying like, hey, so I want this to happen with Red and the lumberjack. So do you? And when he gives her the piece of advice, do you think that it is a natural way of him saying like, yeah, maybe they could wait a little bit and have a time jump or something? Does that sound like something somebody who doesn't really know much about plays would say? Or
the question is, do you want it to?
No.
Okay.
Not so much, but
I would step to the side of that.
Okay.
Because what I thought is he was saying how he feels about her.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Through those, maybe I'm not ready, but instead of saying I'm not ready, saying this relationship probably is a little early.
Okay.
And I would actually play up the flirtation.
Yes. Okay.
In that area, like I would pull that scene and make it flirtier.
Okay.
But make it like he's being clear about his intentions and his thoughts, but also it's a little playful. It's flirty. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Which is probably what I intended.
Parallel a little more clearly.
Yeah. I wrote this a while ago, so I probably intended that exactly. But I don't remember.
Fair enough.
We want it so that he isn't saying his feelings. That's what we're saying?
He's getting across his feelings, but also in a flirty way.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've definitely had this real life situation happen to me.
Yeah.
And it was funny because as a writer, I was like way ahead of them. Like they're like, so I have this friend, and I'm like, all right, so you're about to confess your feelings for me. Okay.
I'm ready. Bring it in.
And so yeah, like I definitely think that that's very accurate to kind of how it goes. Is like that first little bit, you're just kind of trying to get information about like how they see the situation.
Yes.
And then you go, yeah, here's where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And think of the exact moment he catches on.
Yeah.
That it's about him.
Yeah.
Is it immediately?
Yeah. Good question. I want to say it's like he's kind of insinuating that he thinks that she's flirting with him, but at the same time, she is actually genuinely asking him a legitimate question because she is stuck. So I think she was asking him, but at the same time, she's like, "Oh, I didn't realize that this is kind of paralleling." So Charlotte, again, she overthinks everything. So she's probably even not necessarily sure herself whether or not that she is looking for an honest answer or just like an actual. I'm not sure if I'm making much sense here.
No, fair enough. Like I would pick a moment for Jack where he knows.
Okay.
I would pick a moment when he thinks he knows and a moment where he knows.
Okay. Perfect.
And make those very clear for yourself so that the flirting, because flirting changes the moment we think we have power and the moment we have power are very different moments.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so what we as writers have to do is we have to capture it properly. But yeah, I think we should take our break now. We'll be right back.
Yes. back. Oh, showing the wrong page again. There's Lumberjack.
We're back.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes.
This is where we get a little more relaxed.
Okay.
Yes, this is the interview section where we want to know more about you, Nessie, as a
All
writer.
Okay. Coolio. I'm down.
Yes, first question, what is your involvement in theater?
Well, I write, act, direct, and probably a million one other things I'm not thinking of. I sing as well, and I fake dance my way through every musical audition I've ever been in.
I think we've all been there.
I know you've got some stuff going on right now. Did you want to plug any of
No.
them?
Yeah, sure. I am currently working on two pretty big projects. Two of them of which are currently they're both currently on hiatus for the time being while I work on my health. But I am currently working on a prequel to the Scott Pilgrim books / film. And that is called Flowers. I'm working on an audio drama, and I wrote a album for it, like a musical album for it, which is already currently out and has been out since Boxing Day of last year. And I'm currently working on the audio drama that corresponds with it, and that's a lot of fun. And I'm also working on a Scott Pilgrim musical that is also fan made, and that's a lot of fun too. I wrote all the music for it, and it's great.
I need all of that on my computer as soon as this meeting is done.
I will.
Part of why I asked you to plug that is because I thought Isaac would really be interested in finding out what
I
it is.
am. I think Skye keeps mentioning it, and I keep forgetting. But yeah, Scott Pilgrim is my favorite comic book, favorite movie,
Wow.
one of my favorite movies.
Oh, love it.
I just love that writer.
Me too. Oh my
I
god.
can't
Yes.
remember his name.
Brian Lee O'Malley.
That's it. Oh, it's such a unique one.
I know. I have like all Scott Pilgrim stuff like right behind my computer right now. So,
You got a cheat sheet.
yeah, pretty much. Like I was like, what book is it? Okay, it's number 6, right?
Yes.
So like I have the books right here. So
Oh, beautiful.
I'm trying to get all the color prints. But back to the interview.
yeah.
How long have you been doing this?
Oh my god. Well, I've been singing since probably since before I could walk. But I've been doing theater since the summer of the 3rd grade.
Yeah, you've been writing for a while too, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, well, playwriting, I only started that in my 2nd year of high school, but regular like writing, fan fiction, songwriting, all that, I started well before that. I want to say maybe 5th grade or 1st grade. I don't know.
Something like that, right?
Something like that.
Pinpointing when you became an artist is a very, very tough thing to do because
Yes.
we're all artists.
Yes, absolutely.
It definitely speaks to your experience, though, because you've definitely got a lot. What is your favorite part of being involved in theater?
I want to say the community, I think. Well, that's definitely part of it. There's some good things and bad things. But I think definitely I think my favorite bit of it just is well, it's entertainment. You can turn off your brain for a little while for almost everything, and just the community where everyone can feel collectively something about a certain piece, whether that's music or that is a play or a movie or whatever. Just everyone can collectively feel the same things or different things, and I think that's just awesome.
Yeah. It is. It's a beautiful thing. And is there a special moment you found that really kind of hooked you on to theater and writing, or?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, ooh, good question. Well, with theater, well, good question. Good question. I want to say that was definitely probably when I was in when I went to my first year of drama camp, which is technically when my acting career, I want to say, began. I remember that that people were saying that I was like really good as doing my stupid monologue as Ariel from The Little Mermaid, which had absolutely nothing to do with the film. but just I think after that, then I just wanted to do it, although I wasn't completely serious about it. But yeah, I forget what your question was now that I've rambled on.
So what was the special moment kind of hooked you on to writing and all that? So
okay, well with writing. Yeah, well, not with writing. I haven't done it with writing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think hooking me with writing, actually that was the first grade.
first grade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I wrote a stupid it was probably stupid to me, but it definitely wasn't stupid to my teacher. I wrote some kind of Cinderella-esque thing about a flower and her friend moved to Florida because I moved from Florida. And I don't know, and if there was a fairy godmother, I don't know what happened after that, but I remember my teacher read the story to my class, and then she gave me like some kind of silly award with a star on it or something, and it just stood on my fridge. And then after that kind of just stuck with me, that I was like, yeah, I think I can write.
That's amazing.
When I was in 6th grade, I got the drama award. In my because in my school we graduated in 6th grade.
Interesting.
And I still have that thing. Yeah, they mean a lot. I totally understand.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
I know. I still got somewhere in my like memory chest one of those like old school writing books that you get, and it has a story of like just we went on a field trip. So I wrote a story about these kids who went on a field trip and got lost in the jungle. And it was garbage, but yeah, like it just you never forget it.
Oh yes, I wish I kept mine, but I was in the 1st grade, so I think my parents just probably tossed it when they were like, too much room on the fridge.
Oh,
They couldn't understand what it says.
You never understood me.
The depth of that piece, they just never understood it. They needed like a 5D brain.
Yeah, they
understand that kind of stuff.
I'll never be understood in my time. What is your dream project? That's the next one.
Ooh, dream project. Well, currently, I want to say Scott Pilgrim is probably definitely one of my dream projects. Like, yeah. Well, I mean, I wish we had permission from it, because then it feels a little bit more legal. Yes. and less like one day I'm gonna wake up, Brian Lee O'Malley's gonna email me and tell me to shut it down, which is a lot more uncertain. So if we magically ever got the okay from him, and then we were able to take it to Broadway, and I was able to play Ramona on stage and everything, and it would be great. That would be my dream. Because
have you reached out to him? I'm pretty sure he's
tried.
Okay.
Yeah, we've definitely tried. But unfortunately, like I've heard, technically he doesn't even have the rights to Scott Pilgrim anymore.
That might be true.
Universal.
Yes.
So
and they're very picky.
Yeah.
I would recommend having a lot more experience if you want to go to Universal.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, but it's fun. It's still a lot of fun just to be working on it. I mean, I've always wanted to, because I've played Ramona for a lot of the stuff for it, and also for Flowers. So I've always wanted to take a character from a film I loved and then play them. So it's awesome that I get to do that.
Yes.
Among the other characters when I'm doing just the recording of the music for the actors. So that's fun. I get to play Scott, Knives, Kim, everybody. It's great.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That is pretty cool.
I want to be involved in this project so much now.
I will send you info.
Yeah, because when I was trying to get started with writing, because I never did anything more than short stories, I had a Batman DC copyrighted play, a musical I'd written. So yeah, I tried reaching out to their legal team. It took 2 years to get anything back from them.
Wow.
And it was a simple, we're not interested. So yeah, I was like, for sure have like a writing artist or something that can speak for you. Or not writing artist, writing agent.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. And then it also sucks if they do respond and say no. Then I'm like, I have all this information, which I mean, it's great because I like to think of it as like a stepping stone toward maybe something better that is legal. So I like to think of it as like a exercise. Almost,
it really is.
You know? Well, so even just taking that literal content, not to say that we should play around with copyright,
No.
because
Do
you don't
it.
want to do that. But taking the context, the heart and soul of characters, or a heart and soul of a story, and putting it in a different context is can make stuff like that still beneficial.
Yeah.
Even if you feel like, oh, I wrote this whole thing, I worked so hard on it, and I'm getting an X.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's still stuff to be done with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's another reason why I started Flowers as well, because it's technically a fan fiction. So and I did do research on this. There's nothing really that's in the legal system about fan fiction because it's so new. So it's a little bit harder to pinpoint anything, and I'm not charging for it or anything. Anyone could make a prequel to Scott Pilgrim if they really want to. So that's just on me. That's just my decision. So, but I decided to do that as a side project just because I want to explore Ramona more, and I just wanted to have some more fun with it that was a little bit cleaner, you know?
Yeah. Because I've always recommended to people to like work on what you love at first, because again, you're not going to love the art form, or you're not going to love writing until you have a reason to.
Absolutely.
We've done, Isaac and I have done enough writing that we realized when we're enjoying it and when we are not.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Those times come. I mean, you're a writer, you know. There's times when you're like, I need to finish this. I know this is so close to being done.
Yes.
I gotta get it. I gotta finish it, and then you just don't want to, and you put it off for another year and a half.
I still want to
come back to it with excited.
Yes.
I still want to rewrite their monologue for the 50th time.
Yes. Yes.
This person's been rewritten so many times they don't make any sense anymore.
Yes.
Scrap the character. The main character.
Okay. Favorite project you've worked on in the past?
Other than what I'm currently working on with Scott Pilgrim and everything, which I can't stop talking about it, but that's the only thing I'm currently working on, like, actively, other than the little place that I'm working on the side, like the Lumberjack and like the Best Friend and a bunch of other stuff that I'm working on currently. But I think my favorite project that I've worked on from the past would probably have to be the first play that I had written. Well, not the first play I've written, but the first play that I had written and had produced, which was in my 12th grade year, which was called Once Upon a Prom. So, which was a lot of fun. I took a back seat for directing for that one for the first time, and I had a month and a half to finish the script. Well, it was finished, but it wasn't at its best quite yet. So I had a month and a half to cast, direct, write, rewrite, perform, do everything in between. So
magic.
That was, yes, right, yes. And that was, and also I was at my actual prom in between everything as well. So that was a lot of fun, and I want to do that again because I'm crazy.
I feel that
theatrical 6-week process. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads beautifully into my final question for the evening, which is, how do you balance work with theater?
I don't.
An acceptable answer.
I think that's every single person we've had on here.
It's a good answer.
Thank you. Oh my god, yeah, no, like work in theater. I mean, I have fits of I must continue working. Like I'm freaking Hamilton in here. Like, why do you write like you're running? Like just that is me sometimes, and other times I will work myself till sometimes I burn out, unfortunately, and then I will hate whatever I'm working on, and then eventually slowly get back into it, or whatever it is I have to do. I've also tried when I'm working too hard and my husband's sitting there like, hey, like I want to hang out with you. I will try to say like, okay, at 11 o'clock I have to stop whatever it is I'm doing, take notes of what I was gonna do, and then sit down. So
yeah, and that's part of why it's so important to have multiple projects.
Yeah.
Like it's so easy to just be sitting there and working on something for, I was going to say 10 hours, but that might just be me. But yeah, like you could sit there for 2, 3, 4 hours and you hit a wall and you're like, this is frustrating me. I'm just angry at it. And you have to just like pull yourself away, but you still want to work.
Yep.
And you're like, okay, I'm going to this thing. I'm going to this thing I've been writing.
Yeah.
I'm starting something new. Just to get you, just to pull you out.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Spiral.
Yes.
Writing spiral of doom.
Yeah, because I know that's how I schedule all my stuff, is that when I'm burnt out with the one thing, I'll be moving on to another thing, right? So if I'm burnt out with writing, I'll work on music. If I'm burnt out on music, I'll work on cinematography or stage direction.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a process.
Yeah, absolutely.
And trying to keep everything organized and get things done on time is it's a task.
Totally. Yes.
Totally. Absolutely.
All right. Now that's all the questions I have. So yeah, again, thank you for coming and joining us on the show. Thank you for your piece, the Lumberjack. Is there anything where people can go check you out that you'd want to let them know?
Yeah, my YouTube channel is Tis Nessie, and so I'll probably be commenting somewhere around or something or other. Other than that, my Instagram is tis_Nessie. My Facebook is Tis Nessie. I'm everywhere and nowhere all at the same time.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yes, Skye, any parting notes?
Beyond that, I should let everybody know we'll be back tomorrow for improv as usual. And then next month we will be back for another workshop, which is, drum roll, Isaac, do you know?
Steph, right?
Yes.
Yes, we're having the illustrious Steph Barr, or whatever her last name is now. Joining us.
We work really hard. We vet all this stuff. All the research we need.
Yeah.
We're always prepared.
So she'll be coming on, joining us with her piece. We're going to be trying to make it a bit more special because of the amount of experience that Steph brings to us and all that. It'll be very special.
What we can do. All right. Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Have a great night. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you like.
And keep coming, sparkle on.
Tomorrow. Sparkle on.
Sparkle
on, everyone.
That's my my tagline. Keep coming, sparkle on, everybody.
I keep trying to get Skye to do and thanks for taking a peek.
Thanks again for taking a peek.
Thanks for taking a peek.